Welcome to Coastal California with Cypress. Hey there, my name is Cypress. I'm a tour guide and naturalist out here in Monterey, California. And today I'm hanging out in the rocky intertidal coastline of Pacific Grove. It's called the Pacific Grove Marine Gardens. And I'm going to be spending some time poking around in the rocks today to see what kinds of weird intertidal creatures I can find in between the rocks. So come on along. So right now the tide is low, and it's not terribly low because we are not at a new moon or a full moon cycle, but the tide is pretty low, and so there are lots and lots of rocks that are exposed today. And what that means for this environment is that lots and lots of animals have to hunker down and wait for the water to come back in. Some pools are bigger than others, so some pools warm up faster than others, so that's another thing that these animals have to deal with, is warming up, drying out, being more exposed to predators and sunburn, stuff like that. There's a pretty huge pool over here. It's a good one. Looks like there are a couple of sea stars in this pool. You can see them. There's two of them in the frame right now. One's red, one's orange. Those are bat stars. Oh, and there's a third one right there. This cute little speckled guy. So here's a bat star. This one's pretty cool. It's bright red, dark red kinda. And you can see that they've kind of got an interesting scaly texture here. And their skin, when you touch it, if you touch it very, very gently, it feels hard, as if it's made out of rocks. Its skin is made of teeny little shell pieces. Each one of these little divots is an individual piece of shell. And they're all connected with the skin, which is the red stuff. When a sea star dies, those little bits of shells will fall apart because the tissue is no longer holding them together, kind of like a skeleton inside our bodies. If I flip this guy over, you can see each arm has a row of little squishy-like tube feet. And those tube feet are incredibly strong. They act like little suction cups. And right here in the middle is this little balloon-looking like blob thing. It kind of looks like a little water balloon. That is actually its stomach. It's not the whole stomach, it's just kind of poking out. And the stomach will sometimes come out of their mouth, which is right there in the middle. It's also their butt. They're kind of simple creatures. But that mouth is very, very tiny. And when these animals need to eat something that has a shell, such as a snail, a crab, a mussel, clam, limpet. Limpets are their favorites. Limpets are little teeny snails. There's actually a lot of limpets on the rock that I'm standing on here. See those little shells? Those belong to limpets. They're little snails with a cone-shaped shell, and the sea stars will crawl over them, just like that. And then they will evert their stomach, meaning they squeeze the stomach out through the mouth over their food, and then they digest their food outside their body, and then they slurp everything back up. Kind of bizarre. Spiders are sort of similar. It'd be kind of funny if humans did that, like on Thanksgiving dinner, everybody sits down at the table, loads their plate up with food, and then just barfs their stomach up onto their plate, digests it all right there. Pretty silly. This is a beautiful specimen here. Sea stars are quite beautiful. Some of them have 5 arms, some of them have very, very, very many arms, like as many as 25. But these guys are pretty simple, pretty small, pretty beautiful. And as always, when you go tide pooling, you put the animal back right where you found it. And I found this guy hanging out in the shade